Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast. This episode is number 364, I believe, 364. And I'm currently in the woods finding weird, different mushrooms. Not many of them, but weird. Anyway, you can see those beautiful trees that are not very common in Ireland anymore. And unfortunately, because of a historical mistake that Ireland did when developing the country, there was no legislation or any regulation around basically cutting trees. And what's worse is that Irish Ireland was so rich in different woodlands. It was covered, actually, most of the Irish land was covered in old, very valuable hardwood forests, which makes it even a bigger loss to the not only Irish people but to humanity in general, because the more old woodlands we do have, the more chances we have for a very sustainable and healthy environment. And because there was no regulation or no prevention applied to those who could cut the forests in the past, and because of the rapid growth of Irish agriculture, the need for wood, obviously the hardwood is the most valuable, so it was the first one to be grabbed by the landowners and those who felt like they can benefit from that and potentially earn money on it by using the hardwood. So be it for the internal use or for the export, it doesn't really matter. Currently you can mostly see coniferous forests all around Ireland. It's very common to see spruce, some firs, and maybe a little bit of pines, but that's it. These forests grow very fast in comparison to hardwood, so they are easier to cultivate, grow within a couple of years, cut again, and replenish. So they are fast growers, but unfortunately the way we grow them and cut them and collect and harvest them, we also destroy the soil. And the soil is probably the most important thing. That's another gold mine for Irish born, I would say, old entrepreneurs. This is why the peat and topsoil in Ireland is very much a big industry, because Irish people have access to one of the best soils in Europe, probably, that can be just harvested and shipped somewhere where it's needed. So, and the topsoil and the hardwoods and old woodlands are necessary for mushrooms to grow, and mushrooms are enablers for a vast majority of other trees, plants, and also presence of certain animals and insects, which means that if they are not there, there's no place for them to grow. The forests are a bit, bland. You don't see as many animals and as many varieties of mushrooms growing and kind of decorating that woodlands as you would if you have the old woods. So It's a bit of shame, but there is a big movement to restore that. There are a lot of grants by the Irish government to protect the woodlands and to grow more of that. I see a lot of effort even in the estates like this one. This is Loch Eske in County Donegal, so you can see that the trees are trimmed or cut and then left to rot at the side in the forest, which helps the moss to cover it, the mycelium to settle and grow potentially, I would say, richer, richer substrate for a better soil. So then from that pile of, mossy and fungi infested kind of piles, then parts of them are just collected and then thrown in the other parts of the forest to spread it over, which might enrich the soil, help other trees to grow. Those private landlords of those estates are protecting trees. They are not cutting them, at least most of them, as I can see. So the only thing those trees need is time and water and help of humans to protect them, and we'll have a lot more mushrooms and animals and thriving areas where we can breathe fresh air, etc. So I'll be heading home now. I'll probably record a little bit more to stitch together that episode. For the time being, thank you very much for watching, and depending on if I will record more, see you in the rest of the video or in the next episodes. Stay tuned.